Alright, again, our title is Adjectives and Adverbs for. And today we'll talk about modifiers when we have a compound subject or a verb. So let's go ahead and just jump right into an example. Let's say we have the sentence, Vana and Jason shrieked excitedly and ran inside. Okay, let's start first by looking for our subject. Notice how in this sentence we have two subjects. We have Vana and we have Jason. That means we have a compound subject. Now, if we also look for our verb, we'll notice that we have a compound verb. We have shrieked. And what's the other verb? Yep, that's right. We have ran. Okay, and then we still have other parts of the sentence. Remember, these are called our modifiers. So let's start with our basic diagram. Draw your baseline. Because we have the two subjects, of course, we need the forked lines. Because we have two verbs, we need forked lines there as well. Okay, and let's put our subject and our verbs into our diagram. So our first one, Vana. Our second one, Jason. And notice how we have the word connecting them, and. So let's draw that on our dotted line. Now for our verbs, shrieked and ran. And again, we have the conjunction and. Okay, so then what do we do with the words excitedly and inside? Well, excitedly tells us how Vana and Jason shrieked. So it modifies that word. We need to then draw a slanted line underneath shrieked. And then we still have the word inside. Inside tells us where they ran. Helps us understand more about that. So we need to add that to ran. Okay, now this seems simple enough, but let's try another example. Let's take the sentence, inside Vana and Jason excitedly talked and laughed. Here we still have the two subjects, Vana and Jason, and the two verbs, talked and laughed. And then we have modifiers. So let's go ahead and draw our diagram again. Okay, putting in our subjects is easy. Vana with Jason and the conjunction and. Okay, and similarly our verbs are just as easy. Talked and laughed. Okay, but here's where things get tricky. Notice that we have the modifier inside and we have the modifier excitedly. Okay. what words is inside modifying? It tells us where they talked and where they laughed. It's applied to both of those verbs. In the same way, where it says excitedly, notice how it says excitedly talked, but then excitedly also gets applied to laughed. So now we have modifiers that are applied to both of the verbs. So in this case, we want to add our modifiers directly onto the baseline. So first, we'll put inside. And then we'll put excitedly. Now this shows us that inside they talked and they laughed. And that, how did they laugh? They laughed excitedly and they talked excitedly. Okay, now it's time to practice. Good luck.